Shutting down my storage unit continues. Next up is this piece of furniture that I made over a couple years ago, but the feet are in terrible shape. So today I'm going to build a new base for it. And let's get this thing in good working condition so I can sell it. So back at the storage unit, still need to get this thing cleaned out. Let's see what I have today. My door is a different color, so I am not doing this as fast as I originally planned. Since I have been gone, they have painted all these doors, so we need to do this a little faster. I already know exactly what I'm after this morning. I want to take this guy and build a new base for him. He has some wonky feet that some people just threw on there. Gum outside of here and I stepped in it, and these are my brand new shoes. Not happy. Tripod just broke. So if you got a phone tripod that you like, drop it in the comments for me. Is it gonna be too tall? Oh, it's just too tall. No. Y'all might get a show. I might just drop this whole thing and then we get to just throw it away. All right, she's locked and loaded. Let's get her to my shop and see what I can do to the bottom. You okay back there? You're doing better than my tripod. This is a hot mess under here. This is why I never sold this. I guess the original feet probably fell off, and so somebody put these on here, which they're fine, but they didn't fix the structure under here. And the last time I made this over, I did not have time to fix this. So it sat in the storage unit for months, you guys. And so now I gotta get these off and make a plan for the base. These things need to come off, but I'm not really sure. Just gonna kind of try to pry it off and see how that goes. Oh my goodness, that was trying to take me out today. That took forever. I'm done for the day, and it is the perfect time to share with you today's sponsor because it is one of my favorite ways to relax. I'm gonna sit in my favorite spot and play a little June's Journey. If you love mystery and adventure, you are going to love June's Journey. It takes you to the glamorous 1920s where you'll solve intriguing puzzles and uncover hidden objects. I mean, who doesn't love a good whodunit? Plus, the stunning visuals make every scene feel like a work of art. And here's the best part, you can play with friends. Team up with challenges and share your progress. It's the perfect way to connect and compete. You'll also get to build your very own island paradise. Design your dream island by collecting resources, crafting unique buildings, and personalizing your space. I personally love how June's Journey combines mystery with the island building. It's so much fun to discover hidden objects and see my island come to life. I love this game, and I know you guys are gonna love it too, so download it today to join in on all the fun. I'll leave a link down in the description box so you can download it today, or you can scan this QR code and it'll take you right there. Good morning to you. This is what I was left with last night. Now I am ready to head to the hardware store, put a new bottom on this thing, and start building my new base. But before I can head to Lowe's, I need to do a few repairs on this. The side was loose, so I did some glue and clamping to repair this. I have built a couple of furniture bases on my channel before that you guys may have seen. In both of these instances, I used 1x3s and 2x2s and some pocket hole joinery to make these bases. I have a different design that I'm going to try out today that I think is going to be a little bit easier, and I'm only going to have to use a 1x3 for this design. Just pulled up to Lowe's. I'm going to get some supplies, including my wood, and I think I need a new drill bit for my Craig jig, so I'm going to pick that up too. I got a little distracted by the Halloween aisle in the front aisle, and I had to grab this minion so trick-or-treaters know my house is the place for treats and not tricks. I'm in the lumber aisle, and I want to show you the different options you have when you are building a base. There's a couple of different woods that you can use here that are going to work. Starting off with the very basic, just a common whiteboard is going to be the cheapest thing you can get. So if you're wanting to practice your base, this is a good idea to do this wood because it's the most affordable. Downside of this wood, it's not the nicest. You're gonna have to search through to find ones that don't have huge knots or gouges in them. And you're definitely gonna wanna check your boards because these tend to be like curved and not milled the nicest. Step up from whiteboard is gonna be premium pine. These pine pieces tend to be a little bit nicer. They have less knots, they're milled nicer, but pine is not the best when it comes to taking stain. Another option you can use is red oak. This is a really nice wood, and I have used this to build bases. And the awesome thing about it is that you don't need to stain it. You can just add a top coat to it or a natural wood and it looks beautiful. The downside of it is very expensive. For the piece that I need today, it's $25. Now I have built these bases out of select pine as well as oak. So I wanted to try something different today, and I'm gonna grab poplar. I watched some YouTube videos, and this is a great option for woodworking, and it takes stain pretty well. So I'm gonna try to match this to my drawer fronts. And the good news about this one, it's about $10 less than the oak. Poplar can have kind of these like green and black streaks through it, so I'm just picking one that looks like very neutral and doesn't have any knots in it. I also grabbed a piece of plywood that I'm going to cut down to size and adhere to the bottom, and that is what my base is going to attach to. I'm going to be cutting with my circular saw, so I am clamping my wood to my work surface, and I'm also setting up a fence with my level so I can get a nice even cut. Once I tested that my piece was going to fit, I added some wood glue to the base, and then I'm going to adhere it with some brad nails. I'm ready to cut down my 1x3 poplar boards to make my base. Now I could do this with my circular saw that I used to cut my board earlier. It's just gonna take more setup, and I have a miter saw, so I'm gonna take these over to the miter saw and get them cut. I need 4 pieces cut to 5 inches and then 4 more pieces cut to 7.5 inches. So I'm setting up a stop block to do the 5-inch pieces first, and then I'll move into the 7.5-inch pieces. Now that all my pieces are cut to size, I'm going to sand them so they're prepped and ready for stain. I'm starting off with an 80 grit, and then I'm going to move up to a 120 and then finish them off with a 150. I'm going to be cutting my feet at an angle, and you have seen me do this before with my miter saw by setting up a jig and clamping my pieces to the miter saw, but I'm going to show you a little bit of an easier way and a safer way to do it with just a jigsaw. I'm going to use my speed square to measure these by hand and mark where I want to cut them. Math is pretty cool. Since I measured these all by hand, I lined them up to make sure I have them even, and they're making little perfect triangles. So I'm ready to go. To cut my pieces, I'm going to clamp them to my workspace, just making sure that the clamp is not in the way of the saw. This is definitely not as clean as a cut as using a miter saw, but if you don't have one, a jigsaw is a lot more affordable and it's easier to use, and in my opinion, it's safer. The cut is pretty smooth, there's just some rough edges around there, so I'm going to use my sander to smooth those out. And now that everything is prepped, it is time to start building this base, and I'm going to be using my Kreg Jig 720 Pro to do all my pocket holes. This is an upgrade from my Kreg Jig that you guys saw me use in my other base building videos. This one makes it so easy, and it comes with so many attachments like this clamp for my workspace and this vacuum attachment as well. The vacuum attachment not only keeps your area clean, but it's going to make it easier to drill the pocket holes and let your drill bit last longer. I'm using this little tool to see where I need to set my drill bit collar to. It falls in the 3/4 inch area, so I'm just going to put the stop collar on and screw it in. I'm going to attach this bit to my drill and set it to my drill setting. What I love about this jig in particular is that it has Automax one motion clamping that simultaneously clamps your workpiece and automatically adjusts it to the exact thickness of your material. You have to do that by hand on the other one, so I love that this just makes it super easy. And the stop collar that I attach to the bit is ensuring that I am getting the right depth on these pocket holes. I'm using these 2 inside holes because I don't like having them really close to the outside of my board, because for me it tends to crack when I have them too close to the edge of the board. I'm going to put 2 pocket holes like this on each 7.5 inch piece that I cut. Now that I have all my pocket holes done, I'm going to take these pieces and attach them to the feet. I'm using these Kreg face clamps to hold my pieces in place. I'm attaching the pocket hole bit that comes with the system, tightening that in, and then I'm setting my drill to the first gear and then putting it on an 11. And I'm using pocket hole screws. These are different than wood screws because they have a little lip at the end that is going to stop them at the right place so they don't go all the way through the wood. You can check your guide to see what screw size you need. For my material size, I need a 1 1/4 inch screw. When you're joining your pocket holes together, you definitely want to make sure that you have your drill in a low setting like this so that you don't split or crack the wood. And it's never a bad idea to use a little bit of wood glue to make your joint stronger. I'm so excited to get these done that I'm working too late into the night, and I'm going to come back in the morning and put it all together. I used my sander to knock down the rough edges and round them out a little bit, and to just give them one more sand after all that work and touching and handling them. Okay, now I'm ready to get these on the base, so I'm using a speed square to set them at a 90-degree angle, and I wanted them a little inset off of the bottom, so I just measured and made them even from front to back on both sides. These pieces are going to hold all the weight, but I wanted to put a faux piece in the middle so it looks like one continuous piece. So I'm just measuring that, and I'm going to cut that and add it here. Okay, so I have the base situated where I want it. I have it marked, but now I have to attach it. So my plan is to take these boards and put a couple of pocket holes on every board so I can attach them. And I'm gonna stain them before I put them on here and then adhere it and then try to do touch-ups. So drill pocket holes and then we're gonna stain. I'm adding 3 evenly spaced pocket holes across this long faux board, and then I'm gonna add 2 pocket holes to each outside piece. Now I need to stain these to match the existing drawers that I have. Luckily, I have a oil-based gel stain that I think is going to work really well. So I'm starting with a pre-wood conditioner, since this is poplar, to get a nice even look. This is an oil-based pre-stain conditioner. It's very easy to use. I'm just applying it with this foam brush, and then I'm going to remove any excess after I get it all on. This is going to give my stain a nice even finish and prevent blotchiness. Once I get all this excess wiped off, I'm going to let this sit for 30 minutes before I apply my stain. This is an oil-based gel stain that matches my drawers really well. I've already tested it out, so I'm just stirring it up, and I'm going to apply it with a foam brush just like I did the pre-conditioner. I'm adding the stain to one piece entirely, covering all the areas that are going to be seen when it is attached to the dresser, and then I'm going to wipe back any of the excess with a shop towel. Gel stains are very pigmented, and typically I only have to do one coat of coverage when I'm working with them. When you're working with an oil-based stain, it is very important to read all your safety instructions, and when you're done with your materials, make sure you're laying all your rags out flat and don't throw them away and crumple them up until they're completely dry. Wet, wadded up rags can spontaneously combust, and we don't want any fires in your house, so make sure that you are practicing all the safety measures on your can. Oil-based stain takes a little bit longer to dry as well, so I let these set overnight and then I came back in to attach them in the morning. I pencil marked everything earlier when I set it up, so it was really easy to get everything in place, and then I'm using those same pocket screws, the 1 1/4 inch, to attach these to the bottom. Unfortunately, there was no way to clamp these in place to drill them, so I'm just holding them as steadily as I can and going really slowly with the screws so that these are staying in the right place where I want them. Now that I have everything attached, it's time for the moment of truth and see if this is actually gonna work. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It's level. It's not wobbling. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I love gel stain because it's more pigmented and you get a better finish with it. But another thing that I love about it is you can use it to tone existing finishes. So this frame is a different color than the drawers, and that always bothered me about it last time. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this stain, add it on top of this existing stain to tone it to match the drawers better. Once I got the stain in place, I'm just taking a clean shop towel and wiping back any of that excess. Unfortunately, I have to let this dry overnight before I can top coat it, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, I'm back and I am just going to freshen up this paint job. I originally thought I was going to repaint it, but after all this work, I'm just kind of ready to be done with this and see if I can sell it as is. I originally sealed this with hemp oil, so I'm just grabbing some more hemp oil and putting a fresh coat on. This was originally painted with milk paint, and hemp oil is such a good natural sealer to work in tandem with that, and it's also great for raw wood like these drawers and the new base that I built. I let the hemp oil soak in for a couple of hours, and now I'm just coming back with a clean towel and I'm wiping back any excess. And now that she's all done, I'm gonna get her staged up in the garage and take some shots for my listing for Facebook Marketplace. Just to remind you, here are the sad wobbly legs I started off with, and here is the brand new base. I think the style of this base is perfect for this dresser. In my opinion, it was a lot easier than the box style I've done before. When you're on the floor, you can see the pocket holes on the front leg, but remember, you're always going to be at this upper angle, so don't focus too much on that. Let me know down in the comments if you want to tackle this style of furniture base. After 2 years, this thing is finally ready to go onto Facebook Marketplace. I'm gonna try to sell this thing. Thank you to June's Journey for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to download the game for free. You can scan this QR code or check out that link down in the description box. I'll be back with an update on what I sell this for and come back for more furniture flips out of that storage unit that I need to shut down. Thanks for being here, you guys, and I will see you in my next video.